and welcome back to METV. So today's video, I'm talking about something a little different than usual, and that is mindset. And I don't do a lot of videos about mindset because at the end of the day, mindset isn't marketing. But I do believe that mindset is 80% of what you need to succeed in your goals. Without the right mindset, it doesn't matter how many skills you have or how much luck you run into. Without the right mindset, everything will fall apart for you. So I was in the car on the way home right now listening to a Howard Stern interview. By the way, one of my favorite interviewers. And he was interviewing a Navy SEAL. And that Navy SEAL shared some advice that he received actually from his trainers when he was going through training. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is great advice, not just for, his crazy vigorous training, but also just in life. So I wanted to share some of the nuggets that I got from this interview. So as you know, Navy SEALs are some of our most elite in our military, and their training is beyond vigorous. I can't even imagine that I would make it through an hour of the first day of training, let alone ever make it through the whole thing. He was sharing things like, they had to run a mile just to go eat. So if they ran a mile there and ran a mile back for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they're running 6 miles a day just to be able to eat. And that's not counting the other 14 miles that they run a day during their training or any other training that they have going on that day. They call, every military branch, I think, during their training has what they call a hell week. So as if the training isn't difficult enough, hell week is really actually going to determine who's going to make it. I think they say something like if you can make it halfway through hell week, then you're probably going to be there through the end. That's how bad it is in the beginning. When you think of it that way, then I think to myself, then my own challenges really just aren't that big or that scary. It's just that I tell myself that they are. So one of the things that his trainers told him right before he went into his hell week was, you are about to go to war for the first time, and it's with your own self-doubts. I can't tell you how often I've seen people quit their direct sales business before they even start. I always wonder what conversation can possibly happen in that short amount of time that you made a decision, you took a leap of faith on yourself and onto someone throwing you a line saying, I can help you achieve your dreams. No, not every part of it is going to be super fabulous and fun, but I promise you that any struggle you have will only lead to personal growth, and every success that you have will bring you closer to your goals and your financial success. So I never understood that. But even more interesting to me is how many people I've seen reach kind of like that middle ground. They've surpassed all the newbies or all the ones that are doing this as a hobby or all the ones that are still trying to figure out their way, even though they've got all the training available to them and all the opportunities available to them that everybody else did. They're still trying to figure out left from right. And they've made it to that halfway point, and you can almost see them just teetering on that side to success, and then they disappear. I've seen it happen in my company. I've seen it happen in other companies. I've seen it happen in situations outside of direct sales. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess I do understand it, but years ago I changed my mindset. I just did. It was not something that I remember a moment of when that happened, but it was very simple. It was when I started doing this, and I've talked about it before. If you know me, you've seen me do this. Is this decision going to fall here or here? So is quitting going to help me reach my goals or not reach my goals? So that's pretty much how I base all of my decisions. And I just think that more so than circumstance, because circumstance seems to happen all the time. There's no real long break of nothing happening to us, right? More than circumstance, I think that these people, A, start fearing success if they're willing to admit that to themselves. I know I've been in those shoes. And two, they start doubting their ability to reach that success, even though they've made it farther than they probably thought they would, and even though they're at a place where other people are looking up at them going, oh man, I wish I was in her shoes. But once you're in your world of self-doubt, you don't see how far you've come. You only see how far you have to go. And that can be so damaging to any forward moving thought process or philosophy, right? So I have said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. The most dangerous conversations that we have are the ones with ourselves. Like this trainer said, it's like going to war. If you tell yourself there's no option to quit, then even on the days when you feel like quitting, if you tell yourself there's no option to quit, if you have that in your head from before, then you're just not going to quit. The second tidbit that I got from him was, you know those quotes that say, you can do this, I can succeed in all things possible. Well, those quotes aren't necessarily about skill. They're about mindset. Okay, they aren't about situation. They are about mindset. I know people that say, well, I can't do this because I don't have a car. I can't do this because I don't have a family support system. I can't do this because I don't have internet. I can't do this because I don't have money. Well, guess what? There's about 1,000 people over you that at some point or another also didn't have a car or money or internet. They struggled and had all kinds of situations come at them. The difference was that they did it in spite of those situations, right? So those quotes aren't necessarily about your skill or your situation right now. They are about your mind telling your emotions to just muscle through it. Just muscle through it. And that's where the title of this video came from. So the last thing that I got wrote down before I had to get out of the car was what was in the title of this video: quit tomorrow. So if life is really happening to you, if you are really that full of self-doubt, if there's that much going on, chances are that you're going to see your goal almost as an obstacle to life, when it shouldn't be that way. Life is an obstacle towards getting to your goal, right? So we just have to switch and shift the way that we look at things, right? So our emotions, we are emotional beings. Odds are that we're gonna feel like we need to quit at some point or another. And so what his trainer told him was, if you feel like quitting, which you will, then don't quit today, quit tomorrow. And I thought that was the best advice, and I've given that advice to myself many times, but I wanted to share it with you in case someone hasn't shared it with you, or in case you need to hear it. The situation might not change between today and tomorrow, but how you feel about it might. And that might make all the difference. I have never met somebody at the top of their company that didn't share some really hard moments and moments where they wanted to quit. But they didn't, because they put those emotions aside and said, okay, let me breathe. And then they realized that quitting was not an option for them, that quitting wasn't going to help them get where they wanted to go. So anyway, good interview. I just wanted to share those tidbits. I hope that any of this was of some value to you. And if it was, I would love it if you could click the thumbs up button down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. There's a subscribe button down below. Next to that, there's a little bell. You can click on that if you want to be notified of when we post another video. And then below that, in the description box, I have a bunch of links of where we can connect outside of YouTube. So anyway, you guys, I will see you guys in the next video.